Okay, good morning to everybody. Today we are going to discuss about the instructions and the instruction sequencing, and it is a chapter number 2 of subject computer system architecture. So in this subject we are going to focus about the instruction and the formatting of the instructions. Next is your addressing modes, operands of codes, and the instruction formats. So first we move to the fundamentals to instruction. Instruction are the commands to control the CPU effectively and efficiently. We have already known that what is instruction. Instruction is nothing, it is the command which is used to control the performance of the CPU or control the CPU effectively and efficiently. The fundamental factors to be taken during designing an instruction, these are operation repertory, data types, format of instruction, register, and addressing mode. So out of these factors, first we move to the operation repertory. It tends to that how many and which operations to provide and how complex operations should be. That means this operation repertory tells that this gives an idea of how many and what kind of operation need to be provided, and also the complexity of such operation. That means before the designing instruction, first you focus that which operations is going to be conducted, and according to that operation you must design the instruction, and you also study the complexity of the operation. Right now, so without the knowledge of the complexity of the operation, your designing of instruction is just worthless, because complexity is the main thing. You have to first one designer or one programmer should study about the complexity, should identify the complexity of the operation. According to the requirement to solve that complexity, you design the instructions. Clear? Next is your data types. Data types is nothing, it is a storage representation of the data. That means the various types of data upon which operations are performed. You have to find that the data on which the operations are going to perform. So that is one important factor. Next is your format of instruction. Format of instruction, this includes the length of the instruction in bits, number of address to be used. That means when you design an instruction, there should be a format. Right now, within that format, or you can say this format include the length of the instruction in bit forms, number of address to be used. So the format of instruction is an important factor. Next is a register. There are a number of the registers are used within the CPU. It may be the general purpose register, maybe the accumulator. These all registers are used in the processes. Next is your important thing is addressing mode. These addressing modes are an aspect of the instruction set architecture in most central processing unit designs. That means the addressing modes may be direct, indirect, and that means how the instructions are stored within the memory. Right now, so addressing mode are an aspect of instruction set architecture in most central processing unit and designs. Next come to the operand, because every instruction is dependent upon in the instruction operand should be there. Question is, suppose here what is the operand? Now suppose A plus B, plus is the instruction, A and B is the operand, right? Or you can say plus is the instruction or plus is the operator, and it will be the affected the operands A and B. Clear? So the data upon which opcode acts is known as operands. The data upon which opcodes acts is known as operands. So you can say the data upon which the operations or the your instructions acts is known as operands. C plus D. C, D is the operand. Plus is the instruction or opcode acts on the C and D. Clear? So that is known as the operands. Pattern of operands. First is your address. Second is your number. Third is your character. Fourth one is your logical data. First come to the address. What is the address? The address are a form of numbers that represent specific location in the memory. Specific location, that means where the operand will be stored within the memory. So the address may be considered as unsigned integers. Always remember, address always is unsigned integer. There is no signed integer or nothing. Right? Unsigned integer means by default it is a positive. But when we write, because when we are writing any positive number, the signature or the sign is not required. We are simply say write 25. That means the plus signature not required. But when you write any negative number, you have to use the signature minus or the one sign of minus before the number, which is designated that this number is a negative number. So address is no question, it is a negative number. Address always it is a positive number. So there is no sign is required for this address, right? So remember always, address is a unsigned integers. Next is your numbers. What is a number? The numeric data types are used by all machine languages. That is a number. The responsibility of rounding, overflow and underflow rest within the programmer and not within the machine. So it is a numerical concept, numerical numbers and numeric data. Its responsibility of rounding and the overflow and underflow rest with the programs and not with the machine. Next is the three type of numbers or numerical data: integer or fixed point. Next is your floating point and the decimal points is there. Next is your characters. Characters cannot be easily stored in the data processing, because why? Now when you are store any data within the memory, it should be converted into binary number. That means your your maybe the alphanumeric data or maybe the only numerical data, when it will be stored within the memory, it should be converted into the stream of binary numbers. So conversion of the any numeric data to binary number is so easy. But any alphanumeric data like capital A, capital B, capital C, capital D up to capital Z, or small a, small b, small c, small d up to z. So when you're writing a name or anything by using the alphanumeric characters A, B, C, D, it is very difficult to convert that value to the binary numbers. So there is a ASCII chart is there, which is helpful for this type of conversion, because each letter and each character is assigned a particular value. As example, capital A is the 65, capital B is 66. That is ASCII chart. For each value, that means you are using a smiling symbol, every letter for each value, there is a ASCII code is there. For capital A, for example, for capital A is a 65, capital B is a 66, capital C is a 67. So when you write suppose A, B, C, A is the 66, B is the 65, 66, 67. Now when you getting the numerical value, now it will be easily, you can convert that decimal value or the numeric to the binary numbers. Clear now?